Welcome to a pop-up card tutorial. I'm Charee Filimoehala here at the G45 headquarters, and I'm excited to teach you how to create some dimensional cards using our new charmed paper collection. These cards have been created this month for us by Nancy Wethington. In this video tutorial, we are highlighting our trim and really making our cards dimensional with some pop-ups on the front, as well as some 3D pop-up techniques inside. So you've got to love how we're using these ephemera pieces, really maximize how fun and easy they are to use. So we're learning a lot of great new techniques and really going to have a lot of fun with these Halloween cards. So if you haven't worked with our charmed papers yet or our ephemera pieces, you are in luck because they are so fun to use and just easy, making our crafting so simple. So in the video tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to create these 3 samples, and then with your leftover pieces, I'll show you how you can create these other 3 so you can create a total of 6 cards with your card kit. For the volume 8 card kit, you're going to get this purple and French lilac trim. You're going to get the G45 charmed 8x8. You got 24 double-sided sheets in there. You get 3 of each of those 8 unique designs. Of course, you're going to get some card bases and envelopes. You get 6 of each of these 5x7 nice 100-pound card bases. You're going to get the charmed ephemera assortment. There are 45 different pieces in there. These are great because they take away the need for fussy cutting and die cuts, so it makes creating a cinch. Of course, you're going to get the project sheet with step-by-step directions, and then this G45 bag to store it all in. We encourage you to head on down to your local G45 retailer to pick up the supplies, or onto our website, G45papers.com, and you can become a subscriber there, where you get a card kit sent to you directly in the mail every month, or you learn new techniques with us all year long. Or, of course, you can just pick up the card kits a la carte. No matter how you're doing it, we encourage you to grab some supplies and join us for this fabulous tutorial. Card 1. For our volume 8 cards, we are using 5x7 cards. So it's a total of 10x7 and just score at 5. Just note, before you cut into your charmed paper, you do want to cut out these 3 images first, and then we're going to cut out our 2 large pieces for our card base. Step 1, card 1, we're going to cut out our charmed B side, and we're going to cut 1 to 4 3/4 by 6 3/4 and 1 to 6 1/4 by 8 inches. And then grab your adhesive of choice. I'm using art glitter glue, which I just got a new fresh bottle and I'm so excited, and adhere the smaller piece onto the front of your card. With our larger piece, we're going to score this in half on the long 8-inch side. So I'm just going to score this at 4 inches. Go ahead and crease on the fold. I always like to start in the center and work my way out. And then I'm going to make a few marks. So my first marks I want to be 1 3/4 inch from both the top and bottom. And then I'm going to mark 3/4 inch from our scored folded center. And I'm going to score at 1 3/4 inch to our mark. And then over here, our mark is about 4 1/2. And I'm going to score that down 3/4 inch as well. And then I'm going to score this at the 3/4 inch mark. So now I have kind of created my little guide, and I can cut straight on my sides. So I'm just going to cut from my creased fold to that 3/4 inch mark on that score line there, and then again here, like so. And now I should have a nice little rectangle on the inside of my card. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to manipulate this so I have my center popping out on my score lines that we created, like so. I can take this pen out now, and you can see now it will start to fold in the place that I want it to. I'm going to start again from the center and score out, and start from the center and score out, or crease out. So I should have a nice little even, beautiful pop-up like so. So I've added adhesive just to the part that you can see. So my dimensional part is not adhered yet. And I want to find the center point on here and go ahead and fold this down. I've only glued in one side so far, just that way it's easier to manage. Now I can add my adhesive to this side. Add your adhesive and close it once again. Clean up any excess spillage. And then let's pop this baby out again, making sure we did not adhere that down. And we are good to go with our little pop-up card. Our next step is to take this Fright Night border from our Sit for a Spell paper. And we want to trim this down to go right underneath where our star paper ends. So we can trim it the whole length, that's 7 inches, or we can do it how Nancy's done it and just trim it to fit here. I think I want to try mixing it up. So I'm just going to trim this down to fit the length of my card, and then adhere this down. Next, we're going to take this charmed ephemera piece. Let's go ahead and add this to the top of our card. And now we're going to pop this bad boy up on our little shelf that we've created. So I'm adding some adhesive just to the bottom inch or so of this, because we just want it to adhere onto our little shelf right there. So go ahead and press that down and see how we're looking, making sure there isn't any excess adhesive underneath. And for the last step on the inside, we're just going to grab this witch walking. Want to make sure it's not the one on a broom, but this witch taking a stroll. Step 6, we're going to cut a piece of Let's Party to 6.5 by 1 3/4, and then using some pop-up adhesive from our graphic 45 trim, we're going to cut this nice purple chevron to have 3 pieces that are 5 inches. And then we're taking some nice sharp ribbon cutting scissors, and we're going to fold this in half on the bottom. And I'm going to cut from one edge about an inch or so up towards the center on a diagonal. So we end up with these nice little banner edges. Next, add a line of foam adhesive flush with the top of your purple stars. Of course, you could use a bit of cardboard or chipboard as well if you don't have foam adhesive. And then from there, we're going to add 3 1-inch pieces. I start in the center and then put one on each side, working them out evenly. And then take your 5-inch strips of ribbon and adhere those over the top of that. And then from there, I've cut these tiny little squares, and I'm going to pop them on the back of these, just bringing this all the way down. So then we're going to take out these 3 charmed pieces we cut earlier, add some foam to the back, and these are just going to pop up right over the center of our little chevron ribbons and our striped paper. From our Sit for a Spell paper, I've cut out this charmed border, and I'm just going to adhere this flush with the top of my card, and I'm going to find my center point and work that out, and then trim to fit. And there you have it. We have finished our beautiful dimensional pop-up card number 1. If you're looking to add some excitement to your envelopes, here is what Nancy has done with the leftovers. This is a piece from our ephemera, some of that beautiful chevron ribbon, and a border. Now, using that same template, here's how you can create another card. So we have in the background the B side of Charmed. These are two little ephemera pieces, some ribbon from your kit, and these are some put together borders from the Sit for a Spell paper. So just using up some of those leftovers and popping those up. And then on the inside, you can see we've got some more fun pop-up dimension. We have the Let's Party, both the A side and B side being used, and some more ephemera card pieces that are nicely popped up. Card number 2. Step 1 for card number 2 is to cut a piece of Frankly Frightful to 4 3/4 by 6 3/4, and then adhere that down. I decided to mix things up and adhere the other side on so we can see a variety with the same papers and cuts. Next, we're going to cut O-bats to be 4 inches by 6 inches and add some foam adhesive to the back. And this is going to pop right up on the center of our card base. Step 2, we're going to take a strip from O-bats, and we've cut out the sentiment that says "No tricks, all treats." And I've added some more foam adhesive, and I'm just going to pop this on top of our sentiment so it's just a little added secret dimension. Grab your boo tag from the Ephemera assortment and some of the dark purple ribbon, and we are going to tie this through like so. So we're not actually going to knot it, but we will be angling our edges. And to keep it down how I want it to go, I'm going to add just the tiniest bit of foam adhesive to this side of this ribbon end. And then I'm going to overlap my other piece like so. So I didn't have to tie it, but now it'll stay in place how I want it to, and I can adhere this down. For step 3, we're going to cut another piece of O-bats to 2 1/4 by 2 1/2. And then using this orange frame from the Ephemera assortment pack, I've added some adhesive along the inside edge, and I want to adhere this black side up. And then adhere this down. I want it to be a little bit towards the left and a little bit higher on the top. And then the last thing we want to do on the cover is add a little purple star off to the side of our boo banner. Cut another piece of O-bats that's 4 by 6 inches and adhere that right in the center of our card base. All right, so next we're going to take leftover from O-bats, and we've cut this down to be 4 inches by 1 7/8, and then we're going to do some scoring to create a little pop-up tube. And the project sheet does have an error, so pay attention to what I'm going to say. And it's just the last score which is off. So the first score is going to be 3/8 of an inch. And then we're going to be at 3 1/4. And then we're at 1 1/8. And then we're at 1 1/2. So this is where on the project sheet it says that last score is 1 3/4, but that should be 1 1/2. And then go ahead and fold on all of those score lines. Add adhesive to one of those ends, and then we are going to fold this together to create a tube. So while I'm adhering, I'm just going to fold it down flat like so, and then I can pop that back up. You'll see I have a nice little square tube. And then I'm going to select this side to be my A visible side, and so I'm going to add adhesive on the opposite side of that, and I'm going to adhere this flush with the bottom. I'm making sure to pop that back up, making sure that everything will be dimensional when I want it to be. Now we're going to grab the witch on a broom and just add a little bit of adhesive on her broom section. And then we're going to adhere her down onto our little pop-up section. So then when we open it up, we've got our little pop-up flying witch. And then add some cute little stars to the top right. So what do you think? Do you like sample number 1 or sample number 2? Now taking that same template, here's what you can create using your leftovers. So we have our Frankly Frightful in the background, and then on top of that we've got Sit for a Spell, the B-side, and then we have this fun little cut apart from If the Broomstick Fits, and some more ephemera pieces and ribbon, and another little fun pop-up dimension with ephemera, and again we're using that Sit for a Spell and Frankly Frightful. Card number 3. Step 1 for card number 3 is to take Let's Party and cut it to 6 3/4 by 4 3/4. Next, we are going to take a piece of Hey Pumpkin and cut it to 5 3/4 by 3 3/4. Next, we're going to take some of our purple satin trim, and I've measured this to be about 7 inches, and I'm going to cut both of those on a diagonal. So I have 7 inches here, and I'm going to work with these and adhere them on a diagonal on our front, adding some fun interest as well. And this one side will wrap around the edge. So I'm adhering our lighter lilac purple across the edge, and I'm going to do the same with our darker purple. So this is the back side, and these are both going to wrap around the front. So once you have it how you like it, let's go ahead and adhere this down. So I'm going to have my purple one first, and I want it to go slightly towards the top. I just refilled my bottle, so that liquid adhesive is coming out pretty quickly. And then this one I want to go overlap and down like so. So you should end up with something like this. They can be closer together or further apart, just however you like it. And then once you have it placed how you like it, you're going to go ahead and just notch these like so. Add your foam adhesive to the back and pop this on the front of your card. Take a few inches of that leftover purple ribbon and fold that in half. We're just going to force it through this little hole without tearing it. So if you can get a corner through, that is the way to go, and then slowly pull that through. And then once you've got a loop, we can just take these tails and tuck those through the loop like so, and slowly pull this down. If you pull too fast or too hard, we can rip right through our ephemera piece, which we do not want to do. Go ahead and trim that down. Add some foam adhesive to the back and pop this cutie up. And then we're going to grab this ephemera assortment piece and double pop that. And we're going to put this just right next to our tag and tails. For the inside of the card, we're going to cut Hey Pumpkin to be 6.5 by 5.5. And then on the 5.5 side, we are going to score this at 2 3/4 and go ahead and crease that. Now from the left-hand side, we're going to measure at 1 3/4 from the left, so right here. And then we're going to go 1 inch up from there. And then from that first mark at 1 3/4 of an inch, we're going to measure 2 3/4 inches down from there, which is going to put you at 4.5 inches. So 4.5 inches from the left, and again, measure up 1 inch. So now we are going to do a little bit of scoring, and then we'll do some cutting. So I've got my folded edge up in the center, and so from the left hand side I am going to score at 1 3/4 of an inch, and I'm going to score that just 1 inch down, and then I'm going to score again at 4.5 inches, just 1 inch down, like so. And then I'm going to flip that on the side, and then I'm going to score at that 1 inch where my two score lines meet each other. So it's about in the center, and you can see here where I have those score lines. Now that I'm all scored, I can go ahead and cut my slots. So I'm just going to cut those sides like so. And then I want that to pop out. So just folding on our score lines in the center like so, just like we did with our card number 1. You should have a nice, beautiful little shelf. So then you're going to go ahead and add your adhesive, just like we did with card number 1, and wiggle it to that center line, making sure to clean up any excess adhesive in your pop-up area. Next, we're going to take a strip of Let's Party that's 6.5 by 1 inch, and we're going to adhere this right flush on top of our pumpkins. And then from the Ephemera assortment, add some adhesive to the back of this Hey pumpkin. Ew. So cute. Next, we're going to take about 4 inches of this lilac satin ribbon. And then she's going to pop onto our step here. So we just want to add a little bit of adhesive just to the bottom inch or so. And she's going to go flush with our right hand edge of our pop-up step. Always closing and opening, making sure everything is fitting beautifully inside. Cut another piece of Let's Party. This one's 6.5 by 1 7/8 of an inch. And we're going to do the same scoring we did the first go around. So it's at 3/8 of an inch, 3/4 of an inch, 1 1/8, and 1 1/2. And then once you have all those score lines, go ahead and fold. Add adhesive on the long edge of your tube. I don't necessarily want to do that on my scoreboard. Do it on my workspace, and just go ahead and burnish that down, getting a nice, good bond with your papers, and then be sure to pop that up, making sure you have a nice, beautiful little square. Add your adhesive to one side of your tube, and this is going to go flush with the end of our pumpkin paper. So we're going to pop up this piece, and you can see with Nancy's it looks beautiful, but I'm afraid with all the love and excitement people are going to have over these fun pop-up cards that some of this little delicate detail will not serve us well, and it'll start to fall apart. So I'm just going to trim off any of those delicate details. So now I have a beautiful cutout like this that's going to pop on to my tube. So just finding that placement and then adding adhesive just to that area. And adhere this on. So there you have card number 3. Just pop this bad boy into place, and look how super cute this card is. Of course, if you want to decorate your envelope, you can always add some more borders and cut aparts to really add some pizzazz. Now, using that same template, here is what you can create. So on the back, we have Frankly Frightful, and then we have Hey Pumpkin, some more borders from Sit for a Spell, ephemera pieces and ribbon. And then inside, we've got lots of fun details in here, some more borders from Sit for a Spell, and this is a background called So Spooky, with some more of those pop-ups from the Ephemera assortment. So there we have it. We have created all of 3 cards. So we'd love to see what you've created. Did you use our charmed paper collection? Did you use something else? Share with us on Instagram using that G45 hashtag. And of course, if you're looking for more great tutorials like this one, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel and then hit that notification bell so you know every time we upload a fun and fabulous video. We thank you for joining us, and as always, happy paper crafting.